saw your live video last night, and how's the hydration going for you?
Drinking a lot of water.
Good
Just
man.
got done working out at the gym. I said I wasn't going to do cardio, but I had to bring my gloves and mitts and have fun, do some stuff, and
There you go.
have them hold some gloves. So every time I've been here, knock on wood,
Yeah, skydiving, right? As I saw it.
with the wind tunnels, sky venture, and all. I used to come up here all the time. Well, Lone Tree.
Okay.
And probably about 3 years ago, I was going to open my one of the first Rising Sun Karate schools out here. I was going to move out here because I just love Colorado Springs. It's like, it's one of those things we're going to move out here and have fun, but it's so hot in Texas that we just love it there. Just can't get enough heat over there.
That's awesome.
So yeah.
Very cool. That's awesome.
And now, so I understand there's little cons here and there, but the first Comic-Con, what's up, buddy? How are you?
There you go.
All right. Good to see you. Good to see you too. Steve's first Comic-Con here at Colorado Springs. The big Comic-Cons.
Yep.
The high caliber ones that I love. So we were just talking about being here and talked about our workouts. So we worked out a little bit today.
Yeah,
and,
absolutely.
Staying hydrated. Asked about my altitude sickness. Staying hydrated, taking altitude medicine, and But hey, when you got gloves and mitts, and this guy said, "Come on, one more round. If I get sick, it's his fault."
Oh, there you go. You think about hitting up that incline sometime?
Huh?
Think about hitting up the incline at Manitou Springs?
Man, I don't
I
know.
heard about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That thing is
Yeah.
brutal. It's brutal.
It's like 0.8 miles. The girl on the plane told me about that. It's 0.8 miles almost straight up. You have to
Exactly.
almost crawl at times.
Yep, and
well,
it's intense. You can see
I
it.
was anywhere in the city.
Really?
I was crawling here with nothing. I got altitude sickness, man. I went to the hospital. It was like, they think it's like food poisoning, similar things, but all you did, IVs and oxygen, I'm fine, so, but I'll be crawling there before I even start.
Back a couple years ago, you offered to fight CM Punk. Is there any chance we're going to see you in the ring again?
Man, I don't know about that. That whole thing was, we got it all set up, then I got my manager set it up, and then there was injuries, and then, they pulled out, but then UFC has a lot of money invested into him right now.
Yeah.
And they did that reality show, and so I think they're forcing him to fight September, 9th and 10th, or September 10th, or whatever it is. I'll be at a Comic-Con, but Joe Silva lives up there, and I went to Joe Silva's house before this all happened, and Joe Silva thought it was a great matchup. But you have to understand, he's the star of that fight, so he wants to pick someone, which Mickey Gill, I think, is just going to kill him, the wrong pick, but. He just doesn't, I
What does he
think
fight at?
170. So I have a project anyway right now that I'm filming in September for 210. So it just would have been either go down to 170 or I just gain 15 pounds. So it's hard. I would have. I mean, it would have been a good deal. But UFC was concerned about how much money I'm going to ask, and they didn't want to pay too high caliber. So I was like, I'll just fight him for nothing, like literally just for the social media, just for the YouTube.
That'd be awesome to see right there.
Yeah, but we'll see how he does.
Curious with MMA and everything, what's your favorite fight style that you like to use?
Fight style?
More boxing, Brazilian jiu-jitsu?
I like boxing. We did some boxing today. Faunt's pretty good at boxing. Hands. I mean, I like the hand. But ultimately kicks. It's my favorite. I always wanted to knock someone out with a kick, and it just never happened in my fights. It was more submissions, and I was like, darn it. I just wanted to kick someone in the head, knock him out in slow mo.
Go to like the Anderson Silva, just right in the front of the face, knock the guy out,
Yeah,
down.
not the broken leg, but yeah, the other Anderson Silva.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, not that.
Yeah. Yep.
Very cool.
Did you guys? I know you guys are the age group, but did you guys watch Super Mega Force to see the?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, when we did it, we thought that they should have broke it up a lot more than
Just
it
one.
happened, but it was just one episode. It was kind of scattered everywhere. It was cool because he had his thing and I had my thing, but they really could have made something really good out of it. The Mega War and stuff. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was good. I mean, I worked with him on Forever Red, and then we went back to Super Mega Force, and he fits in spandex still, which was great. It was like perfect.
We went to the old school Power Rangers, and she was like, and her mouth just dropped.
Yeah.
It was perfect. I was like, thank goodness you all came together in the Mega War.
Man, there's a lot of different storylines with Jason's storyline. How would you sum up your season, like overall season?
The Time Force season?
Yeah, just kind of like how would you sum it up, like in a few words about what that's about, kind of.
Yeah, you know, they just were really strong in character development that year, so they really took their time with the storylines, and the storylines had a lot of depth and almost age to it. They said it had it was the closest thing they got to like nighttime TV
Okay.
in our season. I mean, the Red Ranger dies in episode 1, you know, so that was pretty crazy to have that go down.
I remember seeing it. It was definitely different acting, not just different acting, but like I guess that's what it was, more depth to the foreign acting.
And they brought in some great, I mean, Edward Albert played my dad, and, you know, he passed away, but he was offered an Academy Award, right?
Yeah.
With Butterflies of Fear, Goldie Hawn, and Vernon Wells has been a mainstream bad guy for decades in Hollywood, you know,
Yeah,
so.
has that role.
They did really good, yeah, they did really good.
And it's crazy how all these people like Bryan Cranston, who did voices
Yep.
on Power Rangers, now playing Zordon in the new movie. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. Like it's such a small world, and the Comic-Con is such a small world too. That we were talking earlier. Like we're talking about Faunt's character in Time Season. Like, you know, it takes time for the fans groups to be like with the Mighty Morphin, and now they're starting to get into like the Zeo, the Dino Thunder, and it takes time for it to grow where it surpasses each season. You know? And just to see that grow and get bigger, and see the people that are, you know, doing the Comic-Cons and showing love to the fans is the ones that's gonna captivate the audience. You know, I mean, that's how it was when Faunt, when I did Forever Red. I didn't know half the people there, but I knew him, and you know, and then I met Dan. I was like, oh, that's cool. Then I started watching their season, had a lot more depth into the acting. You know, some seasons were okay, some seasons, you know, with the movie now with the reboot, it doesn't matter. It's gonna be great. You know, Elizabeth Banks,
Oh, yeah.
Rita, Bryan Cranston, all the other Rangers. It was good, you know, good casting pick, but you have to remember it's a re-envision and a reboot. And so we get really picky on stuff.
Yeah.
And we were saying
We
here,
talked about that,
yeah, we were saying how picky we get. Like, you know, we watch a movie and we're like picking things apart that cost like, well, I don't like that shot. It's like, well, you guys can't duplicate that shot, even half of what they can, you know? So we're really picky on what we expect to see. And it's getting grander and grander and grander. And it's scary,
Yeah.
unless you go to straight
Yeah.
acting, like an acting-driven movie. You know what I mean? Unless you can compete with all this. The Power Rangers movie put 160 million into it. So
That much?
160 million.
Dude.
And I saw some of it. It looks good. It looks really good.
Well, quick one here, Mr. Frank. If for the new Power Ranger movie that's coming out right now, since we haven't seen any Green or any White Ranger, who would you like to see to portray your role as what you did? What actor would you like to see to represent you in the new, if they do bring them in?
See, man, I don't know. Like, I've been asked that question, you know? I think I'm a fan of new development. I'm a fan of, like, giving a new actor a really good chance at it. I'm like, you know, some stuff I'm working on, you know, with Bat and the Sun is some stuff that they're working on, which is we're announcing New York Comic-Con, and stuff that hasn't been done before. So I'm not like, I'm not really leaning to be like, well, I want this actor to Taylor Lautner or, you know, whatever else, you know. But I'm more like finding someone. Like, I came to the show, like I didn't have really anything under my belt. I had passion, had drive, I did the karate, and I just think that's what they need. I'm not necessarily think they need big names for some of those actors, right?
For sure.
I mean, who do you, I get asked that all the time, and I have no clue.
Yeah, and I think it's better because it starts to take away. You start going like, oh, well, for your example, there's Taylor Lautner as the Green Ranger. It's just, you know, I always think that's bad when they hire too big of names or stuff. Kind of takes away from the storyline. So you're just focusing on what's going on. Maybe bringing Elizabeth Banks is fine because she's an ancillary character, a bad guy. But
Build
when you
it
have the
up
other
around
Rangers,
them, huh?
yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah, so I like having no names, so you focus more on the story and
Yeah.
less about that.
Good passion, people that will take the job, not just for the paycheck of saying, you know, because I talk about a lot, and I read this big article how Hollywood's not hiring him anymore because he did this action movie for $35 million, he demanded $5 million, it only made $28 million, and they're saying like how it just won't be hired anymore.
Wow.
Well, sometimes it's great to see an actor or someone to say, hey man, like Jason's like, come to Colorado. Yeah, cool, I'm there. Like, no questions. No, like, what am I getting paid? What do I gotta do? I only wanna do one media stuff. He knows, he's like, I'm just here, cool. This is what we're gonna do. So that it's good to work with people like that. And it's, you know, it's frustrating to work on set anywhere where you have someone that's just money driven, someone wants to go home, it's hard work. You know, we have our little, you know, things, but then we're labeled as an actor. Like, you know, you guys might go up and be like, man, the sandwich is cold, man. I've been working all day. It's okay for you, but if we come up, man, the sandwich is cold. Prima donna actor. Can't eat a cold sandwich, you know. Oh, God forbid, you know. So it comes with a label, but we have our things. But other than that, hard workers, and you know, Faunt's doing some stuff. And every time I work with them, we worked on Bat in the Sun, Black Unicorn, Taze Cat, and Operation Black Unicorn, which will be next year. We'll be filming. But when he came on board, I just thought of him. You know, just because I was like, I know he's a hard worker, and he's not here for any other reason. Money will always follow your passion. You know, you guys are passionate about what you do, it's gonna follow. The whole movie script, man, everything's like super secret lockdown on the Saban thing, you know? I think the best thing is that we'll just all have to wait and see until 2017. You know,
Fair
until March. I know, it's not that far.
No.
But, you know, because you just never know what happens with franchise, you never know what they can do, you know, and, you know, so we have a huge fan base, and, you know, we'll see what happens.
Plus, if we told you we'd have to kill you, and that would be awkward for everyone.
That's true.
Especially with all the
That'd be a
cameras.
cool way.
Lock the door!
Lock the doors!
Seal it.
Get all your camera cards. Like, no, you can't take that camera card, it's live.
Yeah,
No! Darn you, Periscope. You've done voices, or you've done other stuff? Like
Yeah, I just spent 3 weeks in Japan filming the next installment of Resident Evil.
Cool.
So for
cool.
Resident Evil Vendetta. So I was out there at the end of January, and I did Leon Kennedy for Resident Evil 6, and I'll reprise that role again for the movie.
Favorite
Yeah.
character? There
Yeah.
you go.
You know,
Leon
so
Scott
that was
Kennedy.
cool. It was cool to come back and do Leon again. It was cool to do it in Japan, and we were out there for almost 3 weeks.
Cool. So you'll be doing the caption motion again and doing all. So how?
And I'll start releasing footage as Capcom will let us do it. You know.
Yeah.
But it's cool because you get to see, they're replaying it, you can see it as it goes. And towards the end, they were starting to formulate your face around those balls that you wear, you know? So, it was pretty cool the way that they do that. Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
I did motion caption one time, I wish I could find it for some, way back then. Like when it was like, hey, we got this new thing, you know, it's called motion cap, you know.
Yeah.
Like, you know, when you saw a microwave, like, what the heck is this thing, man? It's like, you have to explain what that is. I did it, and I had all those little balls
Yeah.
all over me, and then we did, you know, this little video game, and then they it wasn't a video game, it was just like this character, but, yeah, it's pretty crazy, man. It was, but it's pretty crazy. But, yeah, for me, I've just been so busy, man. I'm filming, you know, My Morphin Life Season 4, which we're almost done with that. Probably back to YouTube on Season 4, just because we got, you know, it's just more of a social media platform until, you know, a company says, hey, network, let's pick it up and do it the good way. But I'm not necessarily like stuff like that, like Chris and Sean, all those boys, and Johnny Bosch and all those guys. But it's just a whole different world, and it's going to take a lot of time. I've been traveling so much and doing so many cons, and then I'm filming 2 projects right now that will announce. So I'm just kind of, you know, out there. And my biggest thing right now is to make sure I'm loyal to the fans, building a good fan base. And I tell Faunt too, he's always out there, and he's always so good to his fans. And you know, and since we did Super Mega Force together, and Forever Red together, we've kind of known each other for a while, even though we didn't specifically work on that season, but we've known each other for a long time now, which is cool. You know, it's good to work with people that I enjoy working with. You know, it's just one of those things. So. Well, man, I tell you, I have a very basic philosophy. A lot of actors say, hey, you know, we don't know which one is the interview, we don't know who's who, and I just say treat them all equal. It doesn't matter. You can have one person with one fan that can end up to be millions. It doesn't matter. Like, my students are treated equal. All the interviews are treated equal. You don't give extra, because you have a nice camp. Oh, this one's a 7D, let's give him a special thing. Oh, that guy's whatever. You know, an iPhone. You know, so we treat everything equal. So when Aaron came around, it was one of those things where I saw a little graphic, and it was the White Ranger versus Scorpion. No clue what the Bat in the Sun was, and Aaron's like, yeah, you know, he was a fan, and he didn't tell me at the time. He's like, I really like help with this. I said, I got you, man. Whatever you need, I'll help you. And he's like, cool. Did you see my work? And I was like, oh, yeah, I'll get to it, man. Once, like we're talking, once I give you my word, it's my word. It doesn't matter. Like, and that's where business is business. When you say, I'm going to be there, I'm going to be there. I don't want to break my word. So that was the thing. So I'm crossing my fingers going, oh, God, I hope this is what I got myself into. And then I tuned in to Wolverine, versus Predator bat in the sun. And Tammy was like, yeah, I actually kind of like this. And I was like, that's weird. She don't really like the Comic-Con stuff, you know. Like, weird. She's a female. She likes chick flicks. And so she thought it was really cool. And then Scorpion the original Scorpion was played by my instructor, Chris Casamassa, in the movie. He played original Scorpion in the movie.
Cool.
So that's who I grew up with. That's who I trained with. So anyway, that came about. Did some shots for him, did the voices, and it just, you know, it skyrocketed out there. And then we did the Green Ranger one, same thing. And then we filmed the Taze Cat and Operation Black Unicorn. Now Aaron has his hands on an entity that's huge right now. And we're talking about it. It's big. And we're gonna make an announcement at New York Comic Con. I'm so proud of this guy that went from like trying to make something with 7D, that was shot with the 7D.
Yeah, and I saw that.
You know,
That inspired
yeah.
me.
Yeah, it's shot with it. I mean, you should see amazing stuff that was done. His dad does all the scoring. He's got a whole team.
crazy.
Now he's got his hands on this huge entity that they came to them, this network, and they're, you know, the owners was like, we want you to do this, and it's going to be really good. It's going to blow people away. But that's how I got involved in it. And then, of course, when he works with people, he's like, you know, hey, I'd like, you know, Faunt to do, and, you know, maybe jump through a little hoops with networks, and, you know, didn't really have to audition, which was great because I suck at auditioning. I'm terrible. Like, I could do the work, man. You give me the job, I'll do it. But, like, I'm not used to auditions. I like work. Like, at the time, auditions, oh, man,
It's a whole new
you
beast.
probably don't even know that. I'm just so, I can't audition. Like, I'll call them and trick them and be like, you just need to hire me. You just need to hire me, man.
Just do it.
That's just the way it is. I'm only offer only. Well, you know, but it's good. I didn't have to audition. I got it. So the Bat in the Sun, now people recognize me and they're like, dude, you beat up Scorpion. And so he rebranded the look of the costumes, the Bat in the Sun looks. He rebranded all those costumes out there. They're all cosplaying as different stuff. They're getting every season. It's his season, different seasons, and putting the Bat in the Sun stuff. So he really changed that cosplay industry. So, and he's a humble dude.
Yeah.
He's humble. And then the movie came. We have to put that on hold. And I was like, oh. You know, so when Aaron came to my house, I told him I have all these episodes, like mixed files. I want to do my Morphin Life, and this is for the fans. And he gathered it all together. His dad scored it all. He did it. I had Robert as the editor. So if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be into my Morphin Life. But it wasn't for me opening my mind to him to say, I got you. I don't need to look. I just have a feeling. I got you. You know what I mean? And it was a good, when I have that feeling, I'm usually right about that. You know, and that's what's good to work with people like that.
And the same thing like Jason was saying, it's like the first director that gave me a shot, I did a movie in Romania with him back in '98. So he does a lot of stuff. Like the last movie I just did was with Vivica A. Fox. So he does a lot of things, and he'll always bring me in. He's like, hey, again, just no auditioning. You know, I got this role. You want to do it? And to me, it's like, you know, I love being on set. You know, it's like another acting class, but you're making money doing it. So that's been the same director for all those. So it's like it's hard to say no to Dave because he's done so much. He helped get me going. So whenever he calls for these parts, I'm like, okay, I'll do it. You know. So, but I have a lot of fun doing different genres, different things. You know, you go for one movie, you're getting stabbed to death because you're this alcoholic, abusive husband, and the next day you're playing Leon Kennedy in Japan. So it's just, to me, it's fun. It's fun. Yep.
That's awesome. Cool.
Yeah, and that's what we're talking about just with acting. I think Faunt nails it down with different acting stuff. That's why I called him for the Black Unicorn to play like the leader guy that was explaining all this stuff. He just like fit perfect for that role. And that's what we're talking earlier too. Like the role I'm doing with Bat in the Sun won't even be like me at all, man. It's a total different thing. And that's what's exciting about it, you know, because I've usually, you know, played Tommy my whole life, and I got another movie I'm doing about an autistic boy that becomes a local karate champion, and that's a really acting-driven movie. It's just good to kind of show the artist, you know, the artist in you when you're on power. And even though, man, like people think if you're messing up that kind of work, it's hard. It's not easy to be cheesy. It's really not.
Yeah.
It's, you know what I mean? Like, it's really not. Like, people, it's an easy line. Well, you say that line. Sometimes the cheesiest things are the hardest things to do because they're not here. They're not like
Forced.
You know, yeah, they're forced. And trust me. So people see it was an easy job. Well, you try it, and then you've seen some. I've seen some seasons before. I'm like, oh my god, that's bad. You know, not to be mean or nothing like that, but yeah. Anyway, I'm gonna be doing lots of action, so it's gonna be great. You know, I'm used to that. Lots of action, different look, different role, which is gonna be good. And like I said, that New York will make that a big announcement, and everybody will go, yeah, I see what's going on here. And then then I'd like to do the movie I'm doing. I'm playing the coach is kind of like I would say washed up great martial artist, but he got turned into like alcohol and stuff like that, and he's just like he finds his kid and they kind of just find each other to get out of his depression, and he lost his family. It's a really that type of action driven movie, and the kid's struggling with everything else. He deals with mild autism, getting teased, picked on, so they just find each other. But he takes them on as more of a release thing for his AA meetings. He just takes them on like a what do you call it, like community service type of thing. And then he ends up getting really connected to this kid, and ends up thinking, hey, maybe I can get back to my life, what my life used to be like. And they use each other to bond and to break out on the end, to break free from his the depressions and alcoholism, and the kid breaks free from stereotypical autism and being bullied to like a hero at school. So
Is there anything that you can advise us or let us know about the new Resident Evil? Because
This
that's
is all the motion capture stuff from, this is Resident Evil 3 called Vendetta.
okay.
So they haven't released anything for it, so I can't say much about it
Okay.
at this point. I know Capcom is pretty, they're more hush-hush than Saban, so, but it's really cool. They put a lot of time into it. Those video games are just billion-dollar franchises now. But, they brought in a lot of great people for that, and it was very, very involved, and you'll definitely enjoy it. Did you see the first two?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how do you feel about the 7 trailer? I'm just curious. Have you played it? Played the demo yet?
I have not.
Have you seen any trailers of it?
No, I have not actually.
It is a different feel they're going with this one, and it is something.
What's the storyline? Were they?
Basically,
Leon's not in it, right?
No, it just hasn't been released. It's supposed to be
I was gonna say because
early.
I didn't do it, so if Leon's in it, I got to make
Yeah.
some calls real quick.
Yeah.
So it wasn't me.
Yeah, no, it wasn't you, but no. But it's just very different. It's very first person. I think they're trying to go for the VR with it, but it's very first person, and the demo is just nothing but you trapped in the house trying to survive, not from monsters, but just from this crazy guy that's trying to hunt you, and that's it.
Really?
That's all it gives. It gives a good Silent Hill feel to it,
Yeah, yeah,
but it's Resident Evil. You can see it because there's Umbrella and all the other types.
yeah.
I recommend it if you could watch like a YouTube of it or
Yeah.
something. It is something that is
A little different.
very than
Yeah.
with the regular 6.
They got to make some changes now. They've done 6. They've got their different storylines, and 6 had the 3 different storylines you can take
Yeah.
on. So my guess is that they're going to want to shake it up because I know that's their baby.
Oh yeah.
So they're going to keep, it's like I always say, if people are going to keep filling the seats, they're going to keep bringing it back. So that's good that they're shaking it up a bit because I can see how excited you are. And but they love the Resident Evil. Capcom loves it, so I'm sure they'll keep it in. I don't know, the Green Ranger from Power Rangers is pretty. would be not a bad gig. Does that count?
I'm going to say yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
If you want me to go outside of the Ranger universe, I don't know. I mean, I always grew up a huge Superman fan, so I always kind of, my 6-year-old backflips on that as well. So I got to think the Superman franchise would be a lot of fun to be part of.
Well, very cool.
I'm gearing to what I'm doing right now, which will be announced in New York. I'm so into
I was going
my
to say you
character.
probably already have an answer, but you can't
So
give us.
used to my character. I love it. Every book, everything, storylines. I'm reading it all and building an awesome character, and I'm kind of more in love with that character than the Green Ranger at this point. But not like in love like that. But as far as stepping outside the box, it feels good for me, to do that.
You're gonna like this.
Yeah.
You're gonna like this a lot.
Very cool.
It's awesome.
Nice.
Exciting.
Thanks, fellas.
Thank you all.
guys. Appreciate
Thank
it.
you.